Hey, happy day. I'm trying to find a place to put my coffee. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma. Let's talk about the expression two-faced. Well, two-faced usually means dishonest or untrustworthy or false. And I love this expression because it's been around a long time. It's actually from Roman mythology, where I think it was Janus was the keeper of heaven. He guarded the gates of heaven, and so he actually had two faces so he could keep a better watch. And later in the early 1600s, this expression was used by a writer who used it to describe somebody that was dishonest and two-faced and not trustworthy. And they were showing one face to one person, and then they were behind their back displaying another face. They were being all lovey-dovey and nice and kind to the person's face, and then behind their back they were trashing them. Kind of think about people having affairs. They're all lovey-dovey to your face or to the face of the person that they're in a relationship with, and then when they're cheating behind their back, they're trashing them. They're trashing their spouse or significant other or whoever to the person that they're having an affair with. I don't know why that one popped into my head. Oh, yes, I do. Anyway, there you go. So that's an example of two-faced behavior. In our businesses, in our lives, almost all of us, if we're human beings and we're over 4 or 5 years old, we've probably experienced firsthand an example of somebody behaving in a two-faced way, where they're super duper nice to our face, but as soon as we're not with them, they're talking trash about us behind our back. It goes on all the time in social media now. It's really, really scary how social media has opened up the can of worms where people can behave in any way, and they don't think that they're accountable or responsible to it. They think they can talk and say and do whatever they want, and nobody's ever going to call them out on it. And you know what? Most people don't call people out on it, but boy, some of us sure should. Now, two-faced. Do you want to have two-faced behavior when you're growing and supersizing your business? No. Not if you want to keep customers and you want to really grow and supersize your business. You don't want to be false or dishonest in your business. I mean, if you do, there's lots of dishonest businesses out there, and they might appear successful on the outside, but is that really the kind of business that you want to create? If it is, I guess I can't help you. More power to you. Go listen to somebody else. But if you don't want to be that way, then make sure that you're monitoring, number one, your own behavior, because all of us have behaved that way at some time in the past, where we're nice to people's face because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Even if we don't like them, we're still maybe nice to them. But then just make sure you're not saying anything about them at all when you're not with them. Don't talk about them to anyone else. Just let it go. If you don't like somebody, guess what? Just don't say anything. Better to say nothing than to not say an unkind thing. Better to say nothing at all than, my dad used to always say, better to say nothing at all than to open your mouth and remove all doubt that you're an idiot. My dad was a plethora of amazing sayings. One of my favorites is there's no such thing as can't. That's a really positive one, right? But he had some beliefs and some thoughts that it's amazing, when you think back on it, when we think about where do our beliefs come from and why do we behave in certain ways, and then we catch ourselves like, oh my God, that's not even mine. I got that from my dad, or I got that from my sister, or I got that from my, college roommate. That's where that belief came from. You're just like, okay, maybe I can let that go now since I've been out of college for 35 years, or my dad's been dead for 5 years. Maybe I don't have to keep his beliefs alive with me, right? But being two-faced, check your own behavior, number one. Check your culture, the business that you're building. If it's just you and you're a solopreneur, then it's 100% up to you. If you've already added team members, make sure that they're being team members, that they're not talking about one another behind their back, that they're really building relationships, that they're not behaving one way to your face and another way behind your back to you or anyone else in your organization or any of your customers or vendors. Some of the worst examples of business that I've ever seen are businesses that are super duper nice to their customers' face, but they really hate their customers and they're talking trash about them in their ranks and inside of that company. They don't stay in business very long because guess what? People get wind of it if you're talking trash about them. People get wind of it if you aren't really serving them for good reasons and because you want to help them and want to serve them. Customers come and go, and they go really fast when they find out that you don't really care about them. So when it comes to being two-faced, dishonest, false, I would say it really has no place in my business, and I hope it doesn't have any place in your business, in growing and supersizing and building the business and changing the world, because that's the type of people I like to talk to, are people and work with, are people that want to make the world a better place and change the world. So there's no room in those organizations for two-faced, negative, trash-talking, competitive BS behavior, at least in my humble opinion. So, how do you feel about this topic, two-faced? Do you have examples of two-faced behavior? I think back, I have hundreds and hundreds of stories about people behaving in a two-faced manner. Vendors, one of the most interesting things in the food industry and the liquor industry, and probably any other industry, is vendors go from place to place to place to place, from business to business to business to business within a small community. I have businesses in a small community. They are the biggest gossips, the biggest rumor mongers, the biggest spreaders of anything you can ever manage. And so sometimes it was always fun to play like the telephone game with them. And so I would leak information to them that was, maybe not 100% true, and then see how it went through the grapevine and see how it came back to me. Now, is that kind of mean and dishonest? Not really, because I enjoyed telling them when they came back the next week or two exactly what the story really was and how it had come back to me, because I knew that I only told one person this, and so when it came back all distorted, I knew where it had come from, right? And it was just a teaching moment for people, because guess what? Human beings, we all need to learn stuff all the time. Whether they're our vendors or our partners, they're our vendors, they're our partners in business, right? So we need to be able to trust them. So if you're behaving in a non-trustworthy manner by spreading rumors and gossip about my business, we need to discuss that. So maybe that wasn't the best way to approach it, but it sure was good from a teachable moment. And guess what? I only had to do it twice, because those vendors told everybody else, and pretty soon people knew to respect my privacy of my businesses, because I had more than one business, and to make sure that something was true and really going to happen before they spread rumors about it. So, just a little lesson for today. Don't be two-faced. Don't be an asshole, right? Just be a good human being and create more good human beings in the world, and see how much happier we all are. Go out, have an absolutely amazing day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom, and maybe I'll get off the negative snake in the grass, two-faced trend by tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Catch you tomorrow. Bye. Go build your business.